I watch it all the time because I come through and everyone's like raw, going crazy, and that's always sick for me because I've obviously always never. No, I'm not too confident with my music, so when I see people like enjoy me being there, I get really happy. But the same thing happened at Wembley Arena. I couldn't hear anyone, but not only couldn't hear anyone, I couldn't hear the music. Now I don't know if the in-ears weren't working properly, if the signal was bad or something, or if I just had too much wax in my ear or something. But I couldn't hear myself. KSI's Wembley Arena show has happened. We went to it on Friday night. It was unreal. I was very obviously I performed there as well, so it was a big moment for me too. But it's JJ's show. I was lucky enough to be brought out. I was lucky enough to perform Beerus and Red Alert with him, which is honestly like a dream come true. But it's not about me. It's about JJ. But yeah, the show was unreal. I was so nervous on the car on the way there in the taxi, as I always am. I'm always like a miserable mess for these shows. I'm nervous, thinking I'm gonna figure it out. Even though I've done Beerus and Red Alert about 1,000,000 times on tour since they came out, I'm always really nervous to actually do them. But I arrived to the venue, to the arena. SX has been supporting JJ throughout his entire tour, so he's actually doing his full set before JJ, like a support act, and also obviously SX is involved in the main show as well. But as soon as I walked into the arena, I saw SX. I was backstage, where all the sound guys are and all the camera guys are, and I walked onto the stage, and it was just walked next to the stage, and it was just unreal. Like everyone had their lights up because SX told everyone to get their phone lights out and shine the lights everywhere. It was unreal. It was so good, man. And in that moment there, my nerves went away, and it just turned into pure excitement just to realize the magnitude of the event. Like KSI has got an arena show. I think there was like 12,500 people there, which is just mind blowing. Like we performed at big shows before, like festivals, etc. That have got 50,000 people there, but it feels different this time because it's his audience. Do you know what I'm saying? So obviously, even though it's still his audience at the Reading and Leeds and Parklife, etc., there are still other people who maybe are a little bit skeptical, who just want to be there for the main event, the main stage at those festivals. Whereas this show here, everyone has gone to see KSI and everyone is there to support him. So it just felt amazing, and you could just feel the energy as soon as I walked in, and my nerves just went, and it turned into excitement just because of the realization of the magnitude of the event started to sink in. It was just incredible. So at that point then, I was really excited. Went backstage to see him, and he was just gassed as well. He's getting his outfit changes ready, because obviously when you do an arena show, you got to change your outfit. You can't just turn up like I turn up for these shows in a hoodie and then perform and leave. You got to change your outfit, And that's got a few different technical things to, get over, because you've got mics, right? So you've got your mics on, because he's obviously shooting a documentary and shooting other things behind the scenes stuff. So he's got like 3 mics on under his clothing, and then he's got the mic that he has to perform in. So you got to change your outfit with that there as well. But his energy before the show was just amazing, and you can tell that he like revels in these events. He was born to do this. He's a born performer, and it's so amazing for him to see like his stage presence from when he first started. Because I remember I was there at the very first tour that we ever did. In fact, this was the first tour that I was not actually there every show for, which is a big moment as well. But I had my own things going on as well. I went to Nottingham though. Nottingham was great, and then we did the London show. But yeah, he's been doing this from the start.
Did you see any of the sidemen up on the sides or anything?
Yeah, I saw the sidemen. Yeah, so the sidemen were watching us. They were on the right, because I knew that before. Because I always said to the guys, I was like, when I've done my songs, because luckily I was early. I think I was the first guest, so I was early, so I could get out there. They always say save the best till last, but I think they say save the best till first. But yeah, no, yeah, I was like, after my verse, I'm gonna definitely go and sit with the guys and actually watch the show, because most shows you just see, from the side of the stage, but I didn't want that. I wanted to see it as an actual, because I'm a fan of KSI as well. You got to remember, I've been a massive fan of whatever JJ's done, and I don't want to always be like watching from the side, so I wanted to get into the crowd and be a part of that. So I saw the guys as I went there, and I think Ethan was saying to me that during one part of the song, when I went over to them and waved at them, I went, yeah, like this. he was just laughing at that. But yeah, no, it was great to see them. Because Red Alert as well is a song that's more like, it's like it's about family. It's like type of thing. You got friends and you got family, but friends can be your family. So that's why when we was performing that song, I kept like waving to the guys, because they are the family. But yeah, it was a great show, great event. It's just amazing. It just felt so good. And there were so many special guests at the show as well. You had myself. I'm going to read the list out now. We've got a track list as well, a set list. So we had SX, of course. We had Craig David, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Craig David that was there to perform his song with JJ, but also he performed 7 days. So when JJ did one of his outfit changes, they had Craig David perform, which is just unreal. Imagine being like 13, 14 years old and JJ just living life, not knowing that one day he's going to be performing not only with Craig David, but Craig David's going to be performing one of his biggest songs at your show. Unreal. We had Anne-Marie, of course, who can forget, Swarms, Simba, Dino, Nathan Dorr, P-Money, and then myself. I don't think I missed any out there. If I did, I apologize. But no, it's just great vibes overall. And it was like what it seems like the finale, if that makes sense, of everything that JJ's been working for and towards, but you just know that it's not. You know it's not, because he's got so much more in his chamber, in his locker. This is just a start, in my opinion. We're gonna see him do Wembley Stadium next. This was the arena. We've got the stadium next with 80,000 people. And yeah, he did Down Like That 5 times in a row. Yeah, Down Like That just happened again and again and again and again. And everyone was having a good time. Everyone was having a great time. It was a really nice part of it's just a really nice event. There was an after party as well in the bar in the venue, so we went to that. That's where John drank a bit too much, alcohol. Simon didn't, I don't think. Simon's not here today because he's hungover, unlike John. But he brought a Lamborghini on stage. He literally brought a Lamborghini on stage. And shout out to everyone who was involved in making this happen as well. I know a lot of people behind the scenes, a lot of members of JJ's team. I won't mention them in case they don't want to be mentioned. But yeah, they worked tirelessly for this event. You should see they looked worn out. They looked knackered. They seem like they haven't slept for days, probably because they haven't to get this happen. I mean, the logistics of getting a Lamborghini on stage is just mental, and you can see, Simon having a great time. Louis Theroux was there, obviously, because obviously he's part of the documentary. So he was there at the after party as well. Actually, how did you enjoy the show, Nick? Because you were there, weren't you?
Yeah, the KSI show. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. It was unbelievable. It was amazing seeing the difference between that and I remember going to his first ever show.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where it was in front of a few hundred people.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's just he controls the crowd really well.
He's so good. Because I think he always says now that he's not nervous, and I actually believe him. I don't think he doesn't get nervous.
Do you know how you can really tell is he's comfortable standing in one place for a long time.
Yeah.
And just he had that little bit out the front of the stage.
I still do that now. If you watch me, not this show, I was actually less nervous, but other shows, I'm always walking around. I walk from left to right.
At your show? At your show, you weren't.
Yeah, no. That's the thing. At my show, I'm responsible then, aren't I, for my own. Usually, when we did the New Age tour, not that obviously me and JJ we tried to make the set list as kind of equal as we could there, but obviously I'm really always still feeding off his energy because he's a performer. Even though I do music, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a performer. I don't dislike performing. I love it, but I'm always very nervous to do it. Whereas he's not, so I always ride his energy at the shows. So at New Age, I always I let him dictate the show, and then I'll just be there to kind of do my part and also bring my aspect to it. And then also on the other KSI shows, there's other KSI tours. I was there as a hype man, so I was there. He was the main event. I'm supposed to stay in the background, so I always have that element when I perform as a guest with him that I'm still meant to be in the background, which I am. But yeah, his stage presence now is unreal.
There was one bit where you two were almost singing or rapping to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking into each other's eyes.
Yeah.
Was that was that intense, or did you want to turn and look at the crowd? Or you no, this is?
Oh no, yeah. Well, we always do that. To be fair, with the so Beerus is a line where we go, and we've been going in since day. So we did that. We always do that together now. I think at the festivals, we never did it on tour. Actually, we never did that together on tour. But I think now I think every show we do, and we go to a new venue and a bigger and bigger stage and a bigger occasion, we just keep looking at each other and going, "We've been going in since day." Because obviously, I think he loves bringing me out because he knows that I've been there with him at every show since the very start, and we've been to all these different venues together. Like you say, we've been to small venues and now at these big venues. I think he likes the fact that obviously he's done this, but also we've kind of been there to, you started at Heskey Time, right? Doing all those songs, so it's nice to see where we've got to take it. He always loves bringing me out, which I'm thankful for. I'm really grateful for that because,
Did Heskey Time nearly make the Wembley set list?
There were actually plans to do Heskey Time. I won't spoil what those plans were in case they do it in the future, but there was some plan. I think they just couldn't get it done in the end because they had so much other stuff like the Lamborghini next, all this other stuff going on. They just forgot to get that part organised. But I will not say it because it might happen in the future. But yeah, Heskey Time's got to come back one day. But no, it's just really nice performing with him. And there's one point in Red Alert as well where on tour we always rap together. We always lock eyes, rap together and then go on the stage. But yeah, JJ's like my brother, really. He's like my family because I think. Obviously, many people who watch me or watch the podcast or watch us don't really know where I came from. I just started appearing in the side of my videos, but me and JJ have known each other since the very start of his channel. If you go to his first videos, you'll just see my songs are on there. I think he used to do Call of Duty and FIFA content, and I was making music, and I try and obviously to get my, like, as a musician that small, no one cares unless you're on a label or anything. So I was like, how do I get exposure? How can I get my name out there? Because obviously when you're doing FIFA, you've got the FIFA name, right? You know, you're playing FIFA. People are looking to have tips on FIFA or content around FIFA. If you're playing Call of Duty, the same sort of thing. When you're doing music, like what makes you stand out? Like what makes you different from the rest? And back then, everyone was posting on YouTube, trying to, you know, do freestyles or do videos or do this. I'm thinking, how can I get out there? So I thought what I'd do is I'd make songs. I'd first of all ask people if they can use my songs in their background, because obviously, again, FIFA creators need music on YouTube that's uncopyrighted or not going to get claimed, so they need some music in the background. So I would message people saying, look, I make music, you make great content, can I put my music on your content? And then obviously, you know, put my link in the description, and I can gain a bit of notoriety. I'd gain a bit of exposure from that. And also you get some sick music to go in the background of your videos. So that's how it first started. And he really wanted to do that. And he gave me, you know, asked for some music. So I played that for him, and he used to put it in the background. And then I'd also go to people and say, look, I can make music. I can make a custom song for you. How about, you know, I'll make a song for your channel. So I think back in the day, I used to do loads. I used to do like Hazard Cinema was one that was like a Call of Duty compilation channel. They used to put people's clips on there. I made a song for them. Shaggy, aka G Unit 123, he's the guy who faked the world's fastest nuke back in the day on Modern Warfare 2. I unfortunately made him a song, which ironically then, you know, got me into a bit of shit because everyone started hating him because he faked the nuke. And then this guy called Extras, who was a big YouTuber at the time, wouldn't work with me because I was G Unit's guy. Even though I wasn't G Unit's guy, I just made a song for him. Anyway, and then obviously, I remember messaging JJ. JJ had a sick background back in the day. It was like a black background with gold KSI or GWT, and I was like, that's sick. So I messaged him saying, bro, I loved your background. Where did you get it? And then from there, we decided to make Heskey Town together. We actually made the Rather Fast Black Man song. There's a song called the Rather Fast Black Man because JJ had like a series called that. We wrote that song first. It never got approved to iTunes, obviously, because, you know, the title's a bit weird, you know, really, if you think about it. You click that, I'm in it, you know, I'm in it. Look, you'll see me halfway through just cutting in from my little studio. It's so embarrassing. There, look. Look, it makes no sense. Ben, that's Darren Ben, you know. Because look, you've just got like FIFA footage, and you've just got me in my bedroom. I think I was like, put me in the video, man, put me in the video. So we did that. It did really well. And then we did Heskey Town after that. We were also going to make loads of different songs as well. I think Javinio was one that we were going to do. After that, we then instead decided to do the football rap battles. But what I'm trying to say is we've been there doing that from the start. And when he was making comedy music, or when he was like making the black and white music with me and blah, 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 to see him go from that to wanting to make, he's always had a goal of making serious music, you know. And I can say he wasn't great at the start, you know, and he'll admit that as well. He wasn't very good at the start, but he wanted it so much that he thought every song I'm going to improve, you know, every song I'm going to get better at writing, better at delivery, and he's just got better and better and better. And he's never lost sight of his YouTube world either, so he's still posting his second channel, obviously. He still gets all that stuff going, so it's really amazing to see him be able to get to the top of the music game, which has still got a way to go, but he's pretty much, you know, doing big things now, performing at the Brits, selling out a Wembley Arena show. So yeah, at this point he's a accredited official artist. So to see him go from this where he was with you know our old music to where he is now, it's just amazing to see, especially because he still embraces YouTube.
I have two questions about the shows. First question: how did it compare to Reading and Leeds?
Okay, that clip there that he's playing is my favorite clip ever, because like, let me tell you, when I'm performing, I've got the in-ears in, so at venues like festivals and at venues like arenas, because the venues are so big for the arenas, but also for the festivals, it's not a venue, it's outside. The monitoring of your own song, obviously, if I'm performing, if JJ is performing, we have to be able to hear the music so we can, you know, rap in time or sing in key, etc. So to do that, you have speakers. So you'll see at many events and shows, you'll have the little speakers there to play the music towards you. But at festivals and at shows, they are so big and expansive that they have to delay it. So they have to have delayed audio, especially in festivals. So you'll notice there'll be speakers at the front, then there'll be speakers maybe 50 to 100 yards back again playing the same thing, but it's delayed to make sure the person way back at the end can still hear it in time. Because as you guys know, sound travels, and you know, if without that, if you had one pair of speakers, not only would you not be able to hear it, it'd be delayed by the time it gets to you. So imagine if we only had the crowd's audio. First of all, you wouldn't be able to hear anything because you just hear the crowd. Number two, it'd be delayed. You know, so it's really hard to sing in time. So you have these in-ears in, and the way the in-ears work is they are molded to your ears. So you go to some sort of clinic and they literally shove, like, I'm not sure what it is, like something into your ear. When you go to get a brace and they do that with your teeth, it's like that. They shove this thing into your ear, let it set, they take it out, and they make the headphone perfect to your ear. So when you put it in, it's literally perfect into your ear. You can't hear anything. It's completely shut out. So what I will say, the reason I'm saying that, the big long backstory, is because at the festival you can't hear the crowd, and then that's what you'll always see at shows. That you see people take their in-ears out all the time because they want to hear the crowd. So that show there at the festival, everyone's like, "Oh, they were singing your name so much when you came out," and I was like, "Really? Let me see." And Simon, he filmed that and showed me, and I was like, "I love that. I watch it all the time because I come through and everyone's like, raw, going crazy," and that's always sick for me because I've obviously always. I'm not too confident with my music, so when I see people like enjoy me being there, I get really happy. But the same thing happened at Wembley Arena. I couldn't hear anyone, but not only couldn't hear anyone, I couldn't hear the music. Now I don't know if the in-ears weren't working properly, if the signal was bad or something, or if I just had too much wax in my ear or something. But I couldn't hear myself. It was really bad. You'll see me on the show. I'm always pushing my in-ear in, trying to move it in a different angle, trying to touch the audio pack on the back that's tucked into my trousers to see if I can like get the wire to work properly. Because obviously Beerus, I know Beerus all the time, so as long as I start on the right moment, I'll finish it because I just know it now so much. Whereas Red Alert, we haven't performed that in a long time. So when he told me that we were performing Red Alert, I was like, oh my god, no, I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm gonna forget my lyrics. So that's why for that song I was really panicking. But luckily everyone said that I did it fine, and I smashed it. So that's good. But yeah, how do they compare? I would say that Reading and Leeds was more of a, oh my god, what the hell is going on experience, because that is just such a massive crowd, such a big thing to be a part of. Whereas the KSI show at Wembley Arena was more of a like fulfilling one. You felt more fulfilled because that is his audience, you know what I'm saying? Or that is, I'll say our audience in the sense of like, that's his audience. That's what he's worked towards. Everyone there are there for KSI and KSI only. It's his name, his headline. At Reading and Leeds, he wasn't headlining it. He was just a part of the show, which is obviously still nothing to scoff at. But this one was his baby, and that felt so much better. And you could just see when you watched him, right? You could just see he was happy. Like he wasn't performing for everyone else. He was performing for himself. He was just having the best time. And imagine how many shows Drake's done now. And I'm not saying Drake doesn't care, but imagine when he does his sixth like London O2 show in a row. It's just work for him, isn't it? Whereas this one here was like, it meant so much to JJ. So yeah, I think favorite, or which one did I prefer? I definitely preferred the arena show, and that's probably how they compare. Did you have another question?
I did, yeah. My other question was, did you ever get asked, or would you have been nervous if you had to do the walk down this stage?
So Cal Freezy said to me that Simon was nervous that I was gonna struggle walking down that. Oh no, he wasn't nervous that I was gonna struggle. He was nervous that I would be nervous to go down it. So yeah, at the KSI show there was a big slope there, a big like ramp. I would have done it, but I didn't. This is what I was panicking, right? Because backstage, JJ was like, "Oh yeah, man, it's gonna be a sick show. We got pyrotechnics and everything." And then someone else said to me, "Oh, weren't you in the rehearsal?" And obviously I wasn't. I arrived just at the start of the show, really. I arrived on SX's last song. Because if I arrived too early, I get really nervous. I was like, let's just arrive for my show. And when they mentioned pyrotechnics and I didn't rehearse, I was like, wait, I don't know where these are? Like, I thought I might be performing next minute. They just turned up, for those who don't know what pyrotechnics are, it's a massive flamethrower out at the bottom of the floor. I'm thinking I'm just going to turn into a marshmallow, man. I'm just performing beerers and literally get set on fire, burnt alive. So I was nervous for that, but no, of course I would have gone down the ramp if they wanted me to, but luckily all I had to do was go up a few steps and perform. And the sound guy there I love the sound guy because he was on JJ's last tour that I was there every show, and also he was at the last tour that I didn't go to. So when you got a good sound like team, and obviously it's not just him, it's the whole team, but he's the guy sorts me out. You just feel more comfortable. Like I when I did my personal show, the sound was awful. It wasn't a good sound guy, so you just don't have the right cues. But when you know everything's sorted, the nerves are gone because you're not responsible anymore for the actual running of the show.
But you were responsible for one thing. I do have one last question.
Yeah.
Sorry. What was it like holding £500,000
the beerus
in your hands?
The beerus chain, yeah, that was amazing actually. That the beerus chain doesn't come out that often, and he mentioned to us he's going to bring it out for the show, and obviously he's got like 500 grand just on his chain, and then he's like, oh Randy, before you leave, I've got one thing for you, and he gives me the chain. I think he was going to give it me. I should have wore it. That's what I regret. I regret not wearing it. He should have. I think he was getting it to put it over my head, but I just took it in my hand because I was too nervous. But yeah, I was holding this and I was like, oh, should I throw it into the crowd? And I was like, bro, imagine if this dropped now. Like not for my fault, but imagine if it just like came apart from the necklace and it just fell. I'd be dying. So I gave it to Steve, JJ's bodyguard, as quick as I could and just ran off. That was good. That was fun. That was also a fun period buying that chain because I was cameramanning him at the time then. And he was going there, and the video idea was to be like, oh, let's spend, or he's going to spend $100,000 on jewelry. But we were going to clickbait it, so it's not going to be $100,000. It's going to be like, a couple of things, and we're going to title it that, right? And we get there, and then he stopped buying a watch, and his watch is like, I'm not going to, then it turns into 2 videos. He actually buys a 200 grand watch. It was supposed to be spending 100 grand on various different jewelry, and it was supposed to be clickbait. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to get a chain or like a pendant made, and they're going to make it. And then I heard the price. I was about to faint, man. I was thinking, what the hell? But yeah, nah. That was a fun period in life, just, following him around, filming and all these crazy stuff that he was doing. Look at that, though. That's crazy, isn't it? That's the most unique, one of the most unique pieces of jewelry in modern entertainment, in my opinion. People always say that's a waste of money, but it's not. I don't think it is at all. Because, number one, it'll hold its value, probably in pure just materials alone. But also, the size JJ is now as well. Like, someone out there one day he'll never sell it, but someone would love to buy that, wouldn't they? If you're a multi-millionaire KSI fan, you could own part of his, one of his prized possessions.
Is that the 200 grand watch he's wearing whilst buying it?
Yeah. They were so smart, when they were doing when they were selling it to him, because I'm not sure if I've ever brought this up on the podcast or not, but I'll say it again. I'll tell the story. So they show him a few watches, and I've always learned this sales strategy. Actually, when I'm doing my own businesses and I'm always doing sales stuff, I always keep this strategy in mind, because he said, I want something that's bust down. Obviously, they know what bust down means. It's like a rap term, but anyway, it means a watch that's just got diamonds all over it. So instead of just being like, diamond encrusted around the side, the whole thing. Yeah. So keep that picture up there. Yeah, there's 3 watches, right? So he says, I want one that's bust down, and they go, right, okay, yeah, we know what you mean. We know exactly what you want. Show him watch number 1, and he's like, oh, this is really nice, yeah, but it's not. I wanted diamonds around everything. This is not right, So he goes, have you got any more? And they show him the next one, and he goes, oh yeah, this is actually really nice. How much is this? This one's cool, but again, it's not what I want. I want it bust down, man. I want like diamonds all over it. So then they go, and you see maybe go a few seconds before that shot right there. Yeah, so it's underneath. So he has it there. He knows exactly what he wants, but he's been showing him 2 other ones that he doesn't like much. And he's there, look, is it possible to get the whole thing? Look, and then he goes, look, yep. So I've learned that my whole life now, or since then I've learned that. So in my future endeavors, I'm going to learn that sales strategy. You give them what they don't want. They don't want it, and then show them what they really want. And he knew that. And then obviously JJ bought that one. So he did his job. Amazing. But yeah, what a guy. And again, JJ's just getting started, which leads me to my next point, actually. Prime. I don't have any with me right now, but Prime Energy. I want to say I've never seen in my life anyone ever get the response to like a product than Logan Paul and KSI have had. It's just unreal. Like, at the show, right? JJ's performing, and they just start shouting Prime. Imagine me performing somewhere, and there's like 12,000 people just saying Ace. I'm like, mate, I've smashed it.